Black Debo and White Debo opened a can of whoop ass on a man on a Biloxi beach in Mississippi for a reason that you may say, send me their GoFundMe link so I could put money in their account. You're going to be the judge of that as I tell you this story. The man who they were beating, from all accounts, it was like the MMA meets tag team wrestling, because Black Debo was boom, boom, boom. And then he had tag in White Debo, and White Debo was boom, 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 elbows. And then White Debo had him in the chokehold while Black Debo was gut punching him. They whooped dude so bad that dude literally drug his limp noodle-like body, arms barely moving, scraping against the concrete, with beach sand all over his body and his eyes he couldn't even see. He's just beat on the door of a random person and said, help me. People open the door in the middle of the night and they're like, what's going on? He's like, Black Debo and White Debo are after me. And they're like, what? Man, this is the story. Coming from WKRG from Biloxi, Mississippi News 5, 2 men arrested in Biloxi following a fight that left a man with life-threatening injuries. Biloxi, Mississippi. Biloxi police say a man, unalived, a puppy, was badly beaten and is now fighting for his life. According to a news release from the Biloxi Police Department, officers responded to a 300 block of Jim Mooney Road at around 12:51 a.m. for a medical call on Saturday, April the 4th. A man covered in blood had knocked on a resident's door and said he had been in a fight and needed medical attention. He was taken to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. During the investigation, officers found that the injured man and 2 other men identified as Matthew Bolton and Austin Delano, Debo and Debo, got into a fight. Delano allegedly had the man in a chokehold while police say Bolton kicked and punched him. As you can see, you see the picture of Debo and Debo. While being attacked, the man reportedly crushed a 2.5-week-old Husky puppy. This is a picture of a 2.5-week-old Husky puppy. Look how cute that thing is. Now you see why Debo and Debo went to boom, bringing the hammer down. Oh boy. Oh man. He beat the puppy to it breathed its last breath. He crushed the little cute Husky puppy, crushed it to death. And that's why Debo and Debo felt like they had to bring justice. They couldn't believe what they just saw. So Bolton and Delano allegedly continued to attack the man. Due to the man's injuries, he could not be arrested on the scene for aggravated cruelty to an animal. Officers determined that the fight began due to a derogatory comment made by the man while he was with Bolton and Delano. Bolton and Delano are both charged with aggravated assault. So they both got aggravated assault. They sitting in a Mississippi county jail. And the other dude is laid up in the hospital with life-threatening injuries because he unalived a Husky puppy. And we don't know what's going to happen to him yet. And I went digging further to see what can happen, what kind of update. And the only update I found was this update. And it's coming from WXXV 25 News. And it says Biloxi police released new details in assault case involving a puppy's death. It says, Biloxi police are releasing new details in the aggravated assault case in which 2 men were arrested for assaulting a man who crushed a 2-week-old puppy to death. It all began just before 11:30 Friday night at the home of 1800 block of Beach Boulevard, where officers were called to a fight. I know a lot about Biloxi, spent a lot of time in Biloxi. Beach Boulevard is literally Beach Boulevard, so it's the beach. So these dudes were obviously hanging out at the beach when stuff all kicked off. Police say a man and Matthew Bolton were involved in a physical altercation that turned violent, with Bolton allegedly striking the victim repeatedly in the abdomen and throwing him into a wall. The situation escalated hours later at a home on Floyd Drive where Bolton and Austin Delano are accused of punching and kicking the man while Delano held him in a chokehold due to the man allegedly saying derogatory comment toward a person who was with Bolton and Delano. Man, look, these 2 dudes obviously been to prison. And they felt like they had to operate on prison, time. And they had to bring justice because whoever the man was, who they're not identifying yet, he said something to somebody they was with that was derogatory. I don't know what it is, but I know. Listen, man. There's very few things that you could say that legitimately, you know what I mean, require a legit physical attack to happen to somebody else, man. You just can't go around attacking people for things that people say. You got to be able to maintain your emotions. But these two dudes, Debo and Debo, nah, man, they wasn't maintaining nothing. They would bring him straight up prison justice to the situation. And it says the situation escalated after derogatory comments, it escalated after man purposely crushed a 2-week-old husky, as we said earlier, man. So a lot of the details they're reiterating. And it says the injured man later made it to a nearby home. That's where we already talked about. And it says charges of aggravated criminal cruelty to a dog for the man is pending due to the nature of his injuries. He was unable to be arrested at this time. This was a day after the initial arrest. Dude's still laid up in the hospital like this. And the doctors are coming in. They're like, man, beep, beep, beep. You know, that's all you hear in the hospital. And this dude's laying back thinking to himself, oh, man. I don't know, I'm on life support because I said something I shouldn't have said. And then I exacerbated the situation by crushing a husky puppy. Now Debo and Debo's in jail. Does anybody think Debo and Debo did the right thing? Because Debo and Debo defended a husky puppy and derogatory comments from a man we don't know yet. The unknown man who's sitting in a Mississippi hospital somewhere on life support. You know what I mean? Because Debo and Debo, you know, brought the hammer down on him. Like I said, MMA meets, you know, tag team wrestling. Man, give me a like and subscribe to The Pen and the Shank, the most unusual and unique crime and prison channel experience on YouTube, where I bring to you the most unusual and unique crime and prison stories that are floating out there on the internet. I try to find them, grab them, and bring them to you so you can hear the stories that aren't making necessarily headline news all over, because the headline news is grabbing the next trending thing after the next trending thing. So I'm finding these old stories and I'm bringing them to you so you have an idea of the crazy crime that's happening out there in society. And we ain't got no shortage of it in Mississippi. Man, let's get it.